Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Help Us Understand podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Zach.
And this week, news. Drones!
Drones, aliens, maybe?
Drones.
Maybe.
Aliens, our government.
Yeah.
Cats.
Oh.
Could you imagine if we were being invaded by a bunch of cat people?
Cats. I'd be okay with that. I think I'd be more okay with that than anything else. I'd be like, oh, look at the window kitty.
Yeah, but they were violent. If they were violent cats.
No. What are they like? Meh. And
Yeah,
then
or-
they just jump.
I mean, are they doing
Then
cat things?
just grab them by the back of the neck.
That's called scruff. You don't grab their neck. You
Yeah.
grab their
We
scruff.
still.
No,
And
it's
then they're
probably,
like, oh, they found our
it's
weakness.
probably not cats.
Meow, meow. Evacuate.
We are we are going to talk about drones. But first, Zach wants to talk about something that tickled his brain a little bit because they're watching Young Sheldon.
Yeah.
So please present to me whatever you
didn't
want to talk
tickle
about
my
from
brain.
this. Well, whatever. It was enough for you to.
It was enough for me to think about.
Okay.
So, in Young Sheldon, for those of you who have not watched the show, the mom's very religious. The family as a whole is, you can claim religious. Sheldon's not religious at all. But that's part of the story. But the mom is like the religious crusader of the family, and they go to church every Sunday, and they participate in activities. She works for the church. She works for the church. Well, the oldest son, who's 17, gets a 29-year-old girl pregnant. Okay. And
She's 29. Mm-hmm. I gotta watch it.
And the church is like, they find out, right? And even though she works there and they attend church, the church asks her, hey, why don't you take a leave of absence while your family's going through this hard time? And she was like, am I being fired? And they were like, no, it's just, because
Hard time the pregnancy.
yeah, your son's not getting married to her, so we don't really agree with that. We're just, maybe you should just take a leave of absence to work with it. Okay, that was the first step. Then shortly after, they go the mom had a Bible study group, and all of the women came up with excuses not to show up. And then at church, they all looked at them weird and didn't want them to sit beside them. And even the pastor who lived next door was kind of like, maybe you guys should just, take a break and whatnot. And I just started thinking about this because, I grew up in church.
But see, I did too. And what you're talking about is precisely the reason why I moved away from traditional religion.
There's
To give a little back history between the two of us. Zach and I are the same in that we both grew up in religious households, took a whole lot of part in church activities, youth group, all that kind of stuff. The difference is as I got older, I started to question my beliefs quite a bit, and ended up, here's my issue with organized religion and Christianity in particular is what you're talking about, the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. How everything that the scriptures teach and everything that they try to preach about not being judgmental, the church is a hospital for sinners, and it's helping people and feeding the poor, giving water to the thirsty, and all that kind of stuff. But the vast majority of people that participate in churches like that are fucking liars.
Yeah.
And they judge and they shun people for their things.
And they're supposed to be there to support. Like,
yes.
I would understand the leave of absence if the church supported. The Bible study still happened.
I wouldn't even understand a leave of absence. Why would that be appropriate?
Because she was working for the church.
So
and I
what?
understand the organization of a church. When you're working for a church, you are supposed to represent what that church represents.
But that's another way of shunning her.
Not if they didn't fire her, no.
But why the leave of absence? Why does she need to be removed from that area, removed from the church?
It's more or less the church saying we're giving them time to hope, try to work things out so they can focus on the family.
If she's given that option, but for them to say you need to take a leave of absence, no, they can't force her to do that.
Kind of. Yes, you're right.
As an employer, I guess.
In that specific instance, yes, I
Right.
agree. Now, if she was the one that had done the thing, like she was the one that got someone pregnant and was not getting married, then I understand.
I still don't understand.
I do, because you have someone employed for this church who is not representing the ideas of the church at all. Now, they should not shun her in any way, though, other than to say, listen, what you did is against, what we preach. You need to correct this. Are you going to do you have intentions to correct the problem?
Here's my issue with that argument. Why did Jesus die on the cross?
To save us from our sins.
Because we're all sinners.
Yes. Yeah.
So why is this one particular sin, let's say hypothetically the woman was, so why is this particular sin, why is that enough for them to say you need to leave for a little bit?
It's not the gravity of the sin, it's the fact that it's a public sin now.
It doesn't matter. We all live our lives. We live our
lives in sin.
According to the script, yes.
Large majority of that sin is not in front of the public eye.
All of it is.
And that's not.
We're all sinners because what was the original sin? Do you remember? Do you know what the original sin was?
Lying.
The original sin was Eve eating the apple after she was told not to.
And then denied it. Yeah.
Well, and that's why we're all sinners. We all are descendants of Adam and Eve and stuff. So it doesn't matter whether it's in the public eye or not. If it was because it was in the public eye, then the church is more worried about the image of itself than it is actually living by Scripture and by the faith.
Well, okay, but say you're someone new, right? And you're looking for a church.
Yeah.
You come across this church and you find out very quickly with one of the friends that you made that, hey, you know what? One of the main leaders of this church just cheated on their husband, and they're now openly with another person while they're actively in this marriage.
Yeah.
Your view is going to be just a little bit tweaked versus not hearing that.
Right. You're right.
So in that fashion, the public eye does play a role in the way the church operates.
And that's precisely, again, my issue with religion. Where's the line? You're a disciple, right? Okay, you're a disciple with Jesus, and you get some girl knocked up. How's Jesus going to respond to that?
We don't know. We don't know the answer to that.
But based on what we know, historical stuff in the Scripture, what do we think Jesus would react to that? Zach, I need you to not be my disciple for a little bit and kind of get your shit together. Or would he be like, Zach, I forgive you. I'm going to pray for you.
Yeah, with the intentions, with a little wink of like, you better fix it.
No, I see, that's my issue. Which is it? Jesus
I'm telling you,
was all forgiving.
If it was just a normal person in the church, then it's a little bit different. But when you're working for the church of the religion.
But in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't fucking matter. The fact that you work in the church, if you're going to live your life as a good person who is trying to help sinners and trying to bring people on the right side, that's not the right thing to do.
So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Your company, we're not going to name it. We're just going to say you work for Storm Company, okay? Storm, because the word storm's in front of me.
Oh, fair.
And one of their biggest things is, you know what? Hey, you're getting paid 6 digits.
Yep.
You're going to be treated well. If anything ever happens to you, we'll take care of you on our bill. It's a great company to work for, right?
Mm-hmm.
But their one condition is, you know what? We really want to uphold the standard of what our company looks like, right? So when you're out in public, if you're wearing any of our product, make sure you don't act retarded, right?
Yeah.
That's one of their rules, okay? You go out and act like a dumbass, and you're wearing their logo, and you get drunk in a bar. Yeah. Is the company could go, I forgive you? No, because it's still a company.
But
the church
different.
is still operating
but
as
that's
a
not
company.
A church.
But it's still operating as a company. Because people are getting paid.
Your church does. My church never had employees.
Well, that's true.
Everything that operated in my church was volunteers fully.
And that's
no
fair.
one
that's
got paid
fair.
in the church. And that's I do have issue with a church becoming a money making thing. That does bother me.
But then when it gets so
that's
big,
why I've never gone to churches like
there's
that.
not enough volunteers to control a mass amount of people. You know what I mean?
We were a large congregation.
I mean, 1,000 plus people.
Oh well, not that many.
That's what I'm saying. But as it grows, you kind of have to consider in the budget of the church, you kind of need security and you kind of need administration.
Security?
Oh, yeah. We have security.
For what?
Because people try to break in. Homeless people have been trying to break in.
Okay, but...
I know. Okay, I know.
Hang on, wait.
It's different if someone...
Hang on.
No.
Hang on. Wait. No. Hang on. Your church has security to keep homeless people out.
It's not just homeless.
It's a church. Well, who then?
There were multiple times where kids were trying to break in.
And do what?
With weapons and steal stuff.
Okay, that's different. That's
why I said hold on.
No, see,
and not only that, the homeless folks have been asked to come on in when someone was on the premise. But when no one's there, they were trying to break in the middle of the night, break through glass, That you can't do. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
there's a difference. There is a difference. If it's during the day and they need help, come on in. We'll help you out. But in the middle of the night, and you're like, I need somewhere to sleep, and you break in. Break in through the glass because it's a big church. It's just dumb.
I mean, but I do think too, if you're struggling, the one place that I would think, based on what the Bible says and what Christians claim that they are.
Not at 1 a.m. in the morning. Try earlier in the day.
Why the hell? Okay, so what? Your need for help only is applicable between the certain hours?
I mean, do you really?
So
then we're going to assume that a church is supposed to be like a police station.
No, not just
open
a church,
24 hours a day.
Christian people. My grandfather was the elder of our church,
if they're, like I said,
and he used to bring in people in the middle of the night.
If someone's awake, sure,
right.
But an empty, dark fucking building, and you think that's a smart idea?
Sure, if you have like a little shelter or something that they can go in and have little beds and stuff, why not?
I guess if we have a shelter built in, yeah,
sure.
But then you're just welcoming criminals in too. You're saying we're doing this for the homeless.
Yeah.
That means you'd have to staff somebody there to at least be a security for them. To protect them.
You're giving them shelter, so I wouldn't say necessarily.
But then someone else is going to be like, I'm not homeless. I'm coming in here to break in the rest of the way and steal all the stuff.
Well, that's different. If they're trying to break in the rest of the way, but I'm talking about the sheltered room.
Yeah, I'm saying with the sheltered room, I don't
like what churches have turned into because of this kind of stuff.
We have gone so far off topic.
What was the topic? I can't remember.
God, the topic
Young
was
Sheldon.
basically, young Sheldon and the fact that religion. So the way they reacted after that was they shunned her for the most part.
Yes.
And she basically was like, we're not going back to church.
Yeah.
She gave up on it.
Which, granted, that to me is the kind of stuff that turned me off from religion.
Yeah.
Was the judgmental stuff when you're not supposed to judge.
And I know even growing up, when I was older in church, I would say between 16 and 18,
Yeah.
I started to hear and see the things that the adults were doing that you would have never thought they were doing. They're smoking, they're drinking, they're going to clubs, they're going parties, and you're like, wait a minute. Like, they were a prestigious person, and your view of them as a good Christian person, leader of the church, is now like, oh, well, they're just doing shit just because they want to. Right. They're not even representing the church at all.
But see, that's
part of the reason why I was kind of like,
but that's the reason why I got out of it, because it's not necessarily representing the church. Mm-hmm. To me, I would have more respect for someone who didn't weekly go to church and go to sermons and preach and all that kind of stuff, who just lived a good life, who did what they could to help people, who didn't judge, who did everything they could to just be a good person. But the thing about it is the people that go to church and go every Sunday and go every Wednesday and do this and do that and do this, there's one reason why they do it, and it's out of obligation. Because they feel like they have to. Yeah. They're not doing it for the right reasons.
I'd say there's probably 20 to 30% that go because they want to go.
Can an atheist be a good person?
Yeah, anybody can be a good person.
Of course.
Anybody can be a good person.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And me personally, my personal relationship with God says to me that he's not judging by who's going to church and who's memorizing scriptures and who's being preached to and who's trying to bring people into the church. God is judging. You're right. We are going off really topic.
We are.
Really turning into
well,
this big
and I was going to interject.
We can have a whole nother episode about this.
But I was going to briefly interject. Although you're right.
Yeah.
Consider the fact that in the Bible it says that he wants us to live like him, right? So that would be studying the scripture. And that does involve congregation. It does
wait.
It does involve meeting with...
Live like who? Jesus?
Yeah.
The scripture wasn't written then. It was being written.
Huh?
The disciples wrote the Bible.
Correct. Yeah, but it was from the word of God.
Right, but it wasn't...
is to live like him, which... One of those main things is to practice scripture, which means just to read. You don't have to memorize everything, but just to read it.
Yeah.
And to congregate with your fellow man, right?
Anyone.
So who are on that same page, who want to strive towards the same goals.
Anyone. Jesus wasn't hanging out with only righteous people. Jesus was hanging out with disgusting, shit-covered people that were thieves and stuff.
Right, which is why you're supposed to get with people that are like-minded to outreach to others.
That's not how
who are shitty.
That's not how he lived his life. He lived his life amongst those people, and because of what he was talking about and how he was wanting for change, it attracted people. He didn't go out looking for these people.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is him working with his disciples. Right? The disciples followed him.
The disciples came to him.
Right. And then that became the congregation.
Yeah, but he didn't go looking for people. He wasn't trying to pull people into him.
Right. But if you have the group.
Right.
That's why the 20 to 30%, that's where I say want to be at church, because they want to do that aspect of their relationship.
And they might start out that way, but I think 99.999999999% of them end up turning into something else. They lose the vision.
I wouldn't say 99%.
I absolutely would say 99%.
There's a lot of, and I hate to say this, but there's a lot of older folk that do truly go because it's a part of what they want to do.
It's a part of their daily. It's a part of their.
It's a routine.
It's
I get
a routine.
that, but
That's what I'm saying.
They built that into a routine to where if it truly was feeling like an obligation, then they would just decide not to go randomly and just be like, I don't really care.
No, of course not. That's what an obligation is. People want to go because they want to be seen there. They want to be seen going to church because, God forbid, you don't want to go next week and be like, hey, did you see that Zach's family didn't go to church?
I feel like
last Sunday?
that
Shit
nowadays,
happens all the time.
yeah, but I feel like that nowadays has gone down because people
granted,
are
I haven't
so
been to church in a long time.
infrequent in going to church ever since COVID. I don't even think that question happens anymore.
Right,
because it's all online. We watch it online. But nobody would ever know.
But again, that's my whole thing about going to church. Do I like the idea of community and congregation and stuff?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the one thing about going to church when I was younger that I absolutely miss. I do miss that because we were a family.
Yeah.
Some of my closest friends growing up were church guys.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's just the hypocrisy and what it turned into just drove me crazy. One of the greatest stories that I ever heard, and I think it was one of the preachers that I had growing up told this story. He said it was a church that had gotten relatively big, and they were losing their preacher. Well, this one guy had gotten hired on as the preacher, went to the interview. They liked his services at his old church and stuff. They were like, we're going to get you to start in a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. So he wanted to go and see what the congregation was like and the church was like before he started. But he didn't want to be seen as the incoming preacher. So he dressed in tatty clothes, dirty.
I remember the story.
Yeah, let his hair kind of growing out and stuff, looked unshaven, just looked untidy. Mm-hmm. And went to a sermon on Sunday morning and went right to the front row and sat. And apparently a couple minutes into the service or something, some ushers or something, I don't know how big churches do it, but some ushers or something come up and were like, hey, can you come with us? And they were kind of like trying to get him to kind of sit towards the back or like, hey, can we help you with something? Like, kind of like, why are you here type of thing. And he was like, no, I'm just here to, I'm here for the service. And they were like, okay, well, we need you to step outside kind of thing. And
that's wild to me. I mean, it is.
Well, I mean, and I hope this is the extreme, and I hope that's the case.
Yeah.
But so when it was time for him to start, he came in dressed in like nice clothes and stuff, and he was like, "Well, thank you for everybody coming." And he did his sermon and stuff, and at the end of it, he said, "I just want to point out too, you folks might have remembered a couple weeks ago, a homeless man came in and sat in the front row for the sermon, and people were like, yeah, we remember." And he was like, "Well, that was me." And he was like, I wanted to see how you all would react and how you were living your lives. And based on the reactions that I saw and how people treated me when they thought that I was homeless and just was a dirty person, I'm not going to preach here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I totally get.
Yeah, it's fair.
And that's always
I hope that is an extreme case.
I bet it's not true. But at the same time, like that always stuck with me when I was a kid because I was kind of like, I mean, that's the issue that I had with religion. I was so tired of people going like, yes, God, yes, Jesus, love everyone, love thy neighbors, and just going out and living like fucking assholes.
Yeah.
I just never got that. I never understood it, and I still don't to this day.
Too much. There's just too much hypocrisy anymore.
Well,
it's gotten worse as time goes on. And the more, and I hate to say this, but the more temptations there are, the more hypocrisy we see. I mean, really. Think about how the churches were we weren't alive in the 1920s.
But there's always been temptation.
There has, but
temptation
more.
Temptation hasn't changed. What's changed is the ability of people to ignore those temptations. People, like we've always said, people nowadays are weaker. They're weaker.
Because there's more. Think about where we were 40 years ago with technology. There wasn't any. I mean, it was extremely minimal.
Okay, granted.
We're now in a wave of open your eyes and technology, the access to any.
Yeah.
If I want to order drugs tomorrow, I could probably do it.
You could probably do it, right.
If I want to order anything from the black market, I could figure it out tomorrow. 40 years ago, you'd have to go talk to Jim Bob, who's a homeless guy down the street, and you'd probably get seen talking to him.
Right.
And then he would have to talk to a guy, and then you'd possibly get shot trying to do this. It's like...
It was too risky.
It was too risky, and even though maybe you were, in your mind, you were being sinful, thinking, I really wish I could do that.
Yeah.
you wouldn't do it
Right.
because it was like, there's too many risks. Now there's almost no risk. It's just access.
Okay, granted, I will agree with you there. The temptation is easier to access now.
Yes.
And I was thinking in regards of, I mean, God, what's I'm trying to think of the deadly sin.
The daily sin.
No, the one deadly. There's many deadly.
Greed, lust.
And how promiscuous people are nowadays.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All over the fucking internet.
Think about.
All over public.
I want you to imagine. Let's grab some random man from the 1800s and bring him here now.
And show him what we have.
He would probably be like, blasphemy. I mean, he would just. I mean, he'd probably freak the fuck out.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like we haven't even gone that far. That's like a great grandfather to us. Would be in like shitting right now.
Right, like even our parents who were in their 60s and stuff are like, what is this world turning into?
Even we are.
Oh yeah,
we're not in our 40s yet. We're like, what the fuck is going on?
Dude, seriously, no shit. I mean,
all right, so we have approximately killed 21 minutes. We did not plan on
religion.
doing that.
I told you it wasn't going to be a little thing.
All right, so moving on to I don't want to say the most important topic, but a very urgent topic of concern.
Especially if you live up northeast.
Well, it's coming down here too now. I mean, it's the whole East Coast, but it is more northeast, which makes me I'll ask you this question when we're done.
Right.
So if you're not aware, I want you to go to Google right now, pause the video,
news.
go to Google and type in drones New Jersey and just dive in.
Right.
There's like this mass, what has it been, almost 2 weeks now?
More than that.
Wave of unidentified drones or UFOs in the sky over specifically New Jersey, but they've been found over New York and Maryland and a couple other places. Washington.
California even.
Yeah, in California and Nevada. Which Nevada, come on.
Right.
They're like hotbeds.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, I know, people will ask question, well, people can own drones. I have two drones.
They're hundreds, though.
But I have two drones. And the drones that I have are not capable of what these drones are doing.
No.
These drones are the size of cars.
Yeah.
And they're together. Like, did you hear that one story of someone called, they were on the coast and they saw, this is what they said. They said they saw 50 of them coming off the coast. So they got in touch with the authorities. They scrambled some Coast Guard boats. And when the Coast Guard went out there, they said they were followed by like 13 of them.
Which is nuts.
Together.
Yeah.
13 drones together.
Like, I would be like, go!
You can't control 13. Yeah, I mean, seriously. Like...
Well, I mean, like I was showing you a couple videos ahead before we started the podcast, and there's, people, granted, it's no different than what we were talking about the other week where people post scary videos and it could be anything, right? It could be their perspective. It could be anything, but
they're happening so close together.
Yeah. And they're happening all in the same state.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So people's car radios are changing to this weird funky ass sound that would make me probably shit my pants.
Oh yeah.
There are parking lots of cars with their alarms going off, except the alarm's not going off, but the headlights are flashing in all of the cars. I remember seeing this other one where this guy called the police station and they had the recording of him calling the 911 operator and said, a drone just fell down. And as soon as it hit the ground, 12 more showed up above it. And then he said, I'm reporting it because it looks like there's a small fire. I don't know what to do. And they were like, can you repeat that? And he said, a drone fell to the ground and 12 more appeared above it after it fell.
Yeah.
And then they took off. And they were like, okay, well, we'll send someone. We're going to get some dispatch out there. And it's like, did they extract the data from this drone?
They should have.
Like,
that's what people have been saying. Get one. Get one down. Shoot one down.
Well, there's been a couple of them that are down, but you know what? There was a video earlier today where there was an escort. A truck had a drone on the back of it, had like 55 police cars around it.
Then it's not alien.
Right.
It's our fucking government.
It's something, yeah.
Or they know.
I don't know though. If it was alien, would you think the police would just be like, we only need one car, just escort it?
No, I think an alien mothership would be like, and pick it up and take it away. They wouldn't just let it sit there.
Maybe.
And shit.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay.
I'm really leaning away from the fact that this could be alien. I don't think it can
We're not trying to be funny. It might just be funny, but we're trying not to be funny. We'll each speak. Honestly, your instinct, what do you think they are?
I've done quite a bit of research and watched a lot of videos.
But
you go first because then I'll...
What I think they are, honestly, I think they're a foreign country. Okay. I think they are drones they're monitoring and they're looking at things from a foreign power. I think they're surveilling. I don't know why New Jersey specifically. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But they're kind of coming down to Washington and they're looking. But even when they're in New Jersey, they've been going over air bases, bridges, things like that. I think that they're from some other country. The Chinese, the Iran, Russia, fucking who knows. But that's what I think they are. So what do you think?
Then let me ask you this question. Why would we not treat it like we did the air balloons last year?
We didn't know how to treat the air balloons.
But everyone was watching.
They let that bitch float from one side of the fucking country to the other and literally went off the coast and they shot it down at Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
It started in Alaska. I mean, they just didn't react.
You're right. Okay.
They just flat out didn't fucking react.
I'm going to rock your world with this one. It's also kind of scary. So
it's the Anunnaki.
No.
Oh, okay.
So good call. So apparently the CEO who makes drones had spoken out and said, here's my opinion.
Of some company?
Yeah. And a couple other high up congressmen also voiced their opinions on it. And I'm kind of now leaning towards what they were saying.
Okay.
So apparently back in 2004 to 2016, the Department of Defense had a budget on drones. And they had a budget to build like 25,000 drones, about the same car size. So it was around 6 feet.
For what purpose?
For the purpose of scanning for radioactive material.
Okay.
So apparently there were warnings from Ukraine and Russia about a possible nuclear attack. And we kept hearing about the word nuke get thrown around left and right.
We hear that all the time now.
But the nuclear attack, apparently some inside information, which who knows if that's accurate, was targeting New York City, which would be apocalyptic.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Well, the purpose of these drones is to go up in the air and to scan 100% of the land for any radioactive material that could potentially be nuclear.
Okay.
Well, if the public knew what these were, then it would send the public into a panic. Go, there's a nuke. And then all the news stations would go, they're searching for a nuke. There's a nuke here.
But they could be clear. They could specify, be like, no, let's just be clear. We're not looking for nuclear bombs. We're looking
but that maybe is what they're looking for.
It could be, but I don't know if they'd say that.
And so I don't know that the Department of Defense wants to come out to say, hey, these are our drones and don't panic, but we're looking for nuclear material.
But it's having the opposite effect by them not saying, here's the thing, if they know what they are, by not saying what they are is causing panic.
What's wild is they had a report in 2018, a test written up on how the public would react sending drones into the air without making an announcement.
And what did the report say?
The report said it would most likely cause small forms of hysteria.
Yeah, I don't think we're in hysteria just yet.
I think we're getting there though.
I think people are like at this point people are just like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like even did you see that the news conference that all the like local politicians in Jersey came out and they were like,
yeah, they were like, hello.
We're on TV now. We are. This is us saying to our government, what the fuck are these things flying above our houses?
What really fucking trips my ass is that the Pentagon had to come out with a fucking statement to specifically say, this is not a mothership deploying alien drones to the United States.
No. They said they said Iranian mothership.
I thought they just said mothership.
No, because some local senator said Iran has a mothership, which they do have ships that are solely to deploy drones. Yeah. He said is off the East Coast, and that's what's sending these drones. So then the Pentagon had to come out and say, no, that's not what happened.
I thought I said just mothership.
No, they did use the word mothership, but they were talking about an Iranian one.
Don't use mothership unless it's aliens.
Seriously, no
dummies.
doubt.
Goodness.
I know.
I mean, but that's the scary part is, are they scanning? Is this a test? And they're testing the public, or is this not a test? They're legitimately checking to see if there's a dirty bomb.
You're
somewhere.
from Pennsylvania,
yeah.
So is New Jersey known as an area with a lot of nuclear facilities and stuff?
No, not at all. Not at all. Although there are some very, very large ports in New Jersey that feed directly into New York City. So I think that's one of the big things is, did it come in on a shipment that no one knew what the shipment was? And
but why would it be going that far inland?
What do you mean?
They're not just staying on the coast.
I mean, who knows?
Well, not that
I mean, if you and I were criminals, okay, and we were trying to nuke a city, which I don't even think we could put our minds in that kind of perspective.
No.
Would you want to say, let's drive it downtown and we'll pop it off when we're ready? Or would you take it into the deep part of the state where maybe no one would see it until the time is right?
Like some farmland or something. Yeah, you're right.
So I don't know.
But
I
here's
mean,
but
it's a
here's my
scary
thing.
thought.
But just be honest. I think that the company, I think the country, the public would be able to handle what you're doing. If you're looking for something, say that.
Yeah. Well, but you don't want to cause in near New York panic.
They're causing panic.
Not really. They're just causing questions, right? Like you said, I think they're causing more people to go.
But if they were saying we're just for your safety, we're looking for some things. There is no need as of this moment to panic. I don't think people would panic.
Maybe if they worded it like, hey, there's no urgent threat to the public. We are simply doing they could lie and say we're doing a test to see if we can find specific weapons, biograde weapons in the future. And we just want to make sure that the airspace is going to work with the drones and whatnot. They could lie.
Now, granted, this is kind of simplistic, but one guy did say on an interview, he was like, why can't someone just jump in a truck and follow one of these drones? It's going to have to land at some point.
That's the thing, though. People are saying they're not landing or they're zipping off so far away that they can't even keep up with it.
What do you mean they're not landing?
Like no one sees them land. No one has seen them land. They only see them in the sky, and then they go out towards the ocean or the opposite direction, and they fucking just dip. They turn their lights off and they go. So you can't follow them.
But how is it?
That to me is why in the beginning I was like, oh man, it's aliens. Because although I would hope aliens aren't that fucking low on technology that they're using 6-foot mini airplane looking drones to blend in or something.
Our government in the 60s put people on the moon. In things...
Debatable.
Please. Please. Oh, you're kidding. No. We're not getting into that. That's a whole other fucking episode. In the 60s, they did put people on the moon.
Debatable. Correct.
God. In capsules that were essentially lined with just a couple layers of aluminum foil.
Debatable.
It's not debatable.
Did you just hear yourself? Couple lines of aluminum foil.
That's what it is. That's what the outside of some of those capsules were, just foil.
And never mind. We're not doing this.
All I'm saying is if they had that kind of technology in the 60s, and now what kind of technology we have for military anything, there's no way for them to be able to track these. Now, I did say I think it's from a foreign power. But the fact that the government is being so, I don't know about it, leads me to believe that it's ours.
Them. Yeah. It's got to be either that.
Why are they being so fucking blasé about it?
There's only two reasons. Like that. Like you just mentioned. Either they are like, it's ours, we don't want to talk about it.
Right.
Or
just say that. Or
it is something that they don't know what it is and they don't want to cause panic.
That's what Dustin said when I texted him.
Yeah, I know.
I texted our other buddy and I was like, dude, they must know what this is. And all he texted back was, or they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it and I was like, that's fucking scary.
Powerful statement.
Well, I mean, seriously, like if they legitimately don't know what's happening,
we're in big trouble.
That's terrifying.
You're telling me.
Dude.
Either another country in the world has gotten access to technology far beyond ours, or it's not from here.
And think about it. The majority of the bombing and stuff that's happening in Ukraine are drones. I mean,
yeah.
And these are flying over people's houses.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, what the absolute fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. I mean, it's concerning. And I thought about it the other day. I was like, you know what? If something happened in New Jersey, my entire family is up there.
Yeah.
Right there in eastern Pennsylvania. All of them.
Get them out.
All of them.
Go up there.
They can't move. Half of them can't walk more than 20 feet without being out of breath.
Or what, or what if they got down here and they started showing up in North Carolina? Have we had one yet? I haven't seen any.
There's been reports over Charlotte. A couple of them.
Well, it's a big city. So.
I thought about it, though. I was like, all right. The other day I was thinking, this goes back to one of our earlier podcasts. Is it possible that the mass amount of people who are
that is not what's happening.
Are thinking and seeing these things is causing it to become more real?
I don't think it's causing it to become more real. What I do think is I think people are hearing about this so often on the news that they're seeing planes and they're seeing things like that and being like,
well, okay,
drone.
Then here's another theory. What if this has already been going on for a long time? And because more people have been reporting it and more people are seeing it, more people are looking up now. Whereas, like you and I mentioned, we don't fucking look up in the sky. We're in our house.
Look at the stars.
We don't once in a fucking 4 months, 4 month period. Like, oh, that's really nice. But I think more people are now looking upwards and they're going, wait a minute. I don't think that's a plane. Whereas maybe this has been going on for months.
Then why just now the reaction?
Because it caught media attention.
No, I think this is happening more frequently.
Maybe. I just thought about the fact
point,
that
to
maybe
the point to where the White House and the Pentagon had to respond.
Which,
they both had to respond.
Can we just end 2024 before we have an invasion?
Seriously.
God damn.
I mean, guys, if you're listening to this, let's just give us a couple weeks. Let us have our Christmas.
Yeah, really. And Happy New Year.
And then we'll get fucked up on New Year.
2025,
and then you can
invade.
Here.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, it's just what country.
But here's the thing, though.
I don't know.
It could be alien because these are, I mean, they're.
That's what I'm saying.
But here's the thing. You know what I was thinking? I was laying in bed thinking about this the other day. I was like, this would make a good plot for a movie. I actually thought about writing a script for it. But well, think about it. Super advanced alien race, okay?
Okay.
They're like, we got to this planet now. It's called Earth, but they're kind of primitive. Do we have anything that looks older or is kind of an old style?
A B-42 model?
Yeah, like do we have like a kind of older style of one of our ships? They were like, yeah, we have these weird little things, and it's like one of our super fucking nice drones. But to them, it's like old as shit and bad, and they're like,
send it down.
To make,
replicate it.
Let's
send
those down. Yeah, make them think. I mean, that's smart.
Yeah.
I mean, that's totally smart.
Or, well, like other people, some of the larger conspiracy theorists they're saying that these drones are turning off their lights and morphing.
Come on.
Which I know that's far-fetched, but it's like, well, I mean, yeah, you could say that because then it would look like a drone of our planet with extra lights, and then all of a sudden it changes. And
morphing to what?
Another type of ship. I don't know.
All I know is I'm getting frustrated and getting worried that it's being talked about so little.
But it's catching media a lot.
It's catching local media, and they're kind of talking about it on national media.
You just wait until those things come down here. The South, everybody's going to be shooting in the sky.
Well, but then the FAA made it clear that's illegal.
Right, because other people were like, folks, the bullets are going to come back down.
And then Trump was like, I'd fucking shoot one. I mean, he said something. I don't know what he said.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
All right. Let's say you and me and our friend Dustin are out, and we're having a guys' night out field. I don't know why we would do this. We're out in the middle of a field, right? We see one of these things because we've been hearing about it, and just so happens one of us has a gun on us. Don't you think that one of us would be like, why don't you shoot it down?
No.
If it was moving in a way that we knew it was not a plane or a man driven thing.
That's like going out in the fucking wilderness and seeing a fucking 15-foot bear and being like, it can't see us. Shoot it. that's no, I wouldn't shoot at it.
You think we would just die? It would vaporize us or something?
Well, no, I would just be like,
I'm pretty sure we could probably take down a drone with a bullet versus a bear. A 15-foot bear.
But here's the
I would be like, it doesn't see us. Let's get the fuck out of here.
But what is it doing? Is it just flying?
What if it's like, and it's just like above us, and it's got like a little spotlight down on us, and it's looking at us.
Okay, that's different. If it was like solely like flying down and being like around us and stuff, then yeah, okay.
You'd be like, shoot it, kill it.
Yeah, but I mean, if it was just up there flying, my first instinct wouldn't be, me and Dustin would be like, Zach, put your fucking gun down.
And I'd be like,
No, I wouldn't. My instinct would not be to shoot the drone.
I think with the news that's going on, if this keeps going on for another couple weeks, I think you might be more inclined to.
I mean,
if they're like, we still don't know where these are coming from. We don't know it could be in other foreign countries, but we don't know. Bitch, that thing's going down. Mm-hmm. I'm just telling you, I'm shooting it down.
But see, that's what I don't get. I don't understand why they haven't. Do you remember years ago where they had those drones? I think they were police drones that they were testing, and I saw them. Where I saw videos of them where they were going up and they had the capabilities of shooting nets to take down other drones.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Apparently, their drones can't fly. That's what people were saying. So, regular drones their battery life's being sucked out. Which again, that adds confusion in, right? Because other than EMP technology, we don't have technology to suck the energy out of another drone or another device unless it's alien technology. There is nothing out there for that. So if a battery is going from 100% down to 0 within a few seconds, it would technically be considered a targeted EMP. Well, then wouldn't your phone in your pocket be fucked up too because you're standing right there?
But didn't you say some people's phone signals were getting fucked up too?
That's true, yeah.
I mean,
say it adds layers of confusion because it's like, well...
Here's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to start tapering off, and then we're never going to hear about it again.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I genuinely hope so.
I think that we're just like we never fucking talked about that Chinese balloon. We were being spied on by another fucking country.
That's true.
And millions of people saw it.
Yeah.
But have we talked about it since?
That's true.
Not fucking my word.
Well, good. I hope we don't hear about it. Because
I want answers.
I
want to know what the fuck these things are.
I also don't want us to get into 2025 and they go, all right, President Trump, as you accept office, we're going to have you announce the fact that these drones are coming from another planet. I don't want to do that in 2025. Let's leave that for 2027. I already prepared that 2027 is going to be fucked.
Dude, I would.
Can we just make it another year or two?
The moment they know about it, I want to know about it. I don't want them to hold that shit from us.
What are you going to do? What are you and I going to do?
What do you mean?
I thought about the one thing that you, me, and our friend and families could do. Build a goddamn bunker. That's about it.
We've talked about
what
that
else
for
are
years.
we going to do, though? You know what I'm... Think about that. There's one thing... There's two scenarios that we would do the same thing in.
What if they're not hostile?
For right now...
Yeah, they're not doing nothing. They're just flying around.
I still don't want to be with them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like... where was I going with this? If there was a zombie apocalypse or an alien invasion, there's only two things you can do. Hunker down, bunker down, and prepare. That's it.
No,
right?
No, you'd fight.
And fight, but hide and fight, right? I mean, you're not going to just be like, let's go out into the street and just kill as many zombies or aliens as possible.
Yes, the fuck you were.
If everyone else is doing it, but if there's just mass amounts out there and your chances are low.
The military.
Military time.
God, that's a callback to an inside joke. Yeah, we'll have to. Dustin will know what that is.
But okay, so the military's busy on the coast dealing with the mothership, and we're all left with dealing with the.
What do we have guns for then?
To protect ourselves. But you're fine just staying at home. Be like, Ma, we got another alien at the door. We're gonna have to shoot it
at the door. Knocking.
No, they're going. I mean, seriously though, we would try to get together as families and friends and be like, we're going to stay in one place, right?
We've talked about that, yes.
That's the situation that's at hand. I don't want to have to do that right now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you can't pick a time when it's convenient.
I know, but I'd like to at least, have another year to prepare at least. But any other scenario.
So you're laying in your bed and you're dead asleep. Your eyes just randomly open. Vanessa's still passed out. And an orb just appears in front of your bed. And you just hear a voice, Zach, my name is Nathan from the planet fucking whatever.
Show me what you got.
We need you to tell the world about us. So you'd be like, Nathan, I've got some plans over the next couple of months.
No, I would go, I'm a pretty fucking insignificant, Nathan. You picked the wrong person to announce this shit. I would go, thank you for giving me the heads up because everyone else officially is going to be fucked. I'm going to have family and friends and we're going to be okay.
We understand that you use World of Warcraft to communicate with people.
And I would be like, again, wrong person to get with.
Man.
No, I don't know. I don't know what these are.
I don't think it's aliens. I mean, we made it clear that I do believe that aliens are real, but I don't think that's what this is.
Watch. In a couple of weeks, they'll be like, folks, it's a beginning of an alien invasion. And you and I are going to go, all right, folks, welcome to the podcast. We're fucked. We were messed up.
This is our last episode.
Yeah. Hope everyone stays safe. We already built our bunker, we're good.
Do you think we'd be this calm?
No! We wouldn't be doing a podcast. We wouldn't be on here. It would be a radio channel.
We'd be fucking raiding the local Walmart.
I don't think we'd be raiding anywhere. We'd be just trying to stay alive.
Yeah, but you gotta have things.
Like what?
Like
technology's gone.
Supplies.
Food. Water. A shitter. That's it.
A what?
Some 4-ply toilet paper.
Yeah. No shit, dude. I'm not wiping my ass with leaves.
Oh, me neither.
That's just not happening.
I'll use a towel before I have to do that shit. Oh, man. That's grotesque.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah, we've already made it clear that if we don't have somewhere clean and warm to shit, then it's not going to work.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. No. We can survive, just not without toilet paper.
If we make a bunker, then let's make sure we get like some porta-johns.
We've already got a place. We're good to go. So.
What you mean?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, where we've talked about?
Yeah.
Oh, if you're keeping something from me, bitch, that's not a fucking that's a problem. Are you keeping something from me?
You and I'm like, hey, come to this address, and you're like, what is this address? Just come, and it's this underground mansion.
I would get there and be like, you motherfucker,
and I'm like, shut up, you're safe, bitch.
We
Get in.
we haven't talked about this. Oh man, that'd be sweet though.
Yeah. But anyway,
religion, drones,
drones, whatever.
Yeah.
I hope y'all stay safe out there. I mean, if something really does happen.
And if you've seen them,
I shrugged my shoulders just now in a way of good luck because I don't know what to tell you.
And if you've seen them, send us an email. I want to know about it.
Yeah.
I want to know what it sounded like, if there was a sound, I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know all this stuff. It was a damn good show.
Ugh.
Hodge Twins there.
Weird.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what they do? They end the credits.
Yeah.
Damn good show.
Damn.
Love to have them on.
I know.
But I think that's it for this week.
Yeah.
Drones, man.
Yeah.
If anything, it just made me more scared.
I'm going to start looking up more often now.
I'll get out my drones and charge them.
And if I see it, I'm shooting it down.
It's like, you've seen it. It's
It'll go,
like this big. And they're loud. Yeah, I mean, it's fast, but it's loud. It's got a camera on it, but no sound, which is a bummer.
That's lame.
If you want to reach out to us, shoot us an email at helpuspod@gmail.com. You can find us on YouTube's Help Us Understand Podcast. That's our channel name. And you can also find us wherever you listen to podcasts.
That's right. Anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, so help us out. If you like the channel, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and send us comments, all that good stuff, and do the same for everything else.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. That's it for this week. I'm Jarsh.
I was Zach.
Bye.
Bye.